Hi, my name is Scott Reynolds. I'm the team leader of the Reynolds team here at Compass. And this is July 2022 market update. And what I really wanted to do is compare pre-pandemic time to this month. So June of 2019 versus June of 2022. What has been going on? It's a common question that I get is how is the market? And I think it's easier to discuss if we're able to reflect back to, let's just call it a normal market, and then bring in the pandemic time and kind of go through that data. So bear with me a little bit. It's going to be a lot of data. So in June of 2019, there were 1,649 homes available, which our market had always had anywhere from 1,500 to 1,700 homes available at any given time. And during the pandemic, we went all the way down to 265. I think there was one day we only had 265 available homes. Now the inventory's ticked up a little bit and we're at 601 homes. So comparing June of 2022, we have almost a third of the inventory that we had in a normal market of 2019. So that's a 63% decrease from that time. And then I also wanted to look at new listings added during the same month, during that same time period. We have 17% more listings that were added during that time period. So there were 456 in June of this year, and then 388 June of 2019. And then pendings. What was crazy about pendings is we're only 8% less this month versus 3 years ago. And so we closed 325, or I'm sorry, didn't close, pending 325 homes, and then versus 355 in 2019. Lastly, solds, which is one of the most important indicators. Solds, we're only 4% down from the same time period 3 years ago. Now, with that, so I'm going to put up this chart so you can kind of see the diagram, because visually, it looks very dramatic seeing it visually, with the active inventory and the sales over the past 3 years. But with that, there's a little less transactions that are closing, but that leads me right into values. The average active price this month versus 3 years ago is up 39%. So that was now the average active price in Indian River County is $966,000 versus 3 years ago was $694,000. Then the average sold price, so is $601,000 is the average sold price, and 3 years ago it was $353,000. That is 70% more. So even though the solds are slightly down, the sales price is dramatically different. So I just want to draw that comparison out. So the sales volume for the marketplace is actually quite a bit higher, even though the transactions are down. The next component that I wanted to talk about, because it's the biggest indicator of is it a seller market or is it a buyer market, and that is months of inventory. Pre-pandemic, we bumped around between 4.5 to 6 months of inventory at any given time, and it was normal. Now we're at 2 months of inventory. During, 3 or 4 months ago, we had 1 month of inventory and sometimes only had a few weeks of inventory. So the inventory has ticked up a little bit, giving the buyers a little bit of room, of some breathing room and some more options. So that's just like a big, I just wanted to kind of give an overview of the market update and comparing 3 years ago. Because we get asked a lot of times, what's going on in the market and what is it going to do? I wish I had the crystal ball of what it's going to do, but all indications really look like we're going to just, all the experts in the whole industry is saying that we'll just like in the next year appreciate in the 4 to 5%, which is normal. I think it was like 6% pre-pandemic, but we've really had 20% appreciation each year, and we just can't sustain that. So that's what all the experts are saying, and we'll have to see how it shakes out. I do not see interest rates ever going down to the 2.8 anything. It's just not going to happen. And our interest rates now are in the mid fives, depending on what week it is. And we'll see how the Fed does the increases and how the market responds to that. So more to see on that. But as a buyer, don't forget that even if rates tick up in the 6% or 6.5%, and eventually the rates go back down, you can still buy the perfect property and then refinance into a different rate if and when they went back down. So I just wanted to throw that out. You're marry the house, not the interest rate, I guess is what they say. I'm kind of jumping all over here a little bit, but one of the things that we always looked at for Vero Beach and Indian River County growth, one of the things that limited the growth, it was access. It was always a little inconvenient to get here. You had to come to Orlando, West Palm, and Melbourne, and you still do. There was some thoughts of one day there'd be an airport in St. Lucie County, but what the pandemic had taught us is we can change it with technology and everything and work from home. You can work from anywhere and not worry about the access challenges. So I really see Indian River County growing very smartly, and they got a good government in place to make sure that the infrastructure is in place and the beaches have great quality so that we can grow very smartly. Which the last point I wanted to make is just, what does all this mean? And so I want to speak directly to sellers. If you're thinking about selling your home as we're heading into a normal market, the same old things that were tried and true in the pre-pandemic was who you work with really matters. The marketing is critical. Exposure is critical. Staging the home, prepping the home, the negotiations, the pricing strategy, and all those things really, really matter. If you're on the buying side, what's really nice is even though interest rates are higher, about 50% of the sales are cash, but for the people that are financing, they are higher. We don't really see it changing very, very much. And those interest rates were really close to what they were pre-pandemic. So, but now you can buy with some confidence, and you're not having to buy in an auction type atmosphere for the most part. We're still seeing multiple offers and escalation clauses, but not on every single house. So this gives the buyer a chance that they really wanted all along, was to be able to really take in the property and look at other properties and see how they compare. And now you're gonna be able to do that. So I hope this information is helpful. We're gonna post some links below that'll have market updates. Our website has market updates specifically to different cities within the county that you can check in probably around the 10th or 15th of every month, and they're automatically there. And if myself or my team could do anything to help you, please give us a call. We would love to help and have a confidential conversation or strategy session with you. Thank you so much.